Since San Diego Comic-Con 2022, a lot has happened. A lot of projects have been announced. And we knew going into it that mutants have been introduced conceptually into the MCU or Earth 616. But how will they be introduced in a grand scale to the MCU as we move forward into phases 5 and 6, or what's now being called the multiverse saga? I have 3 theories about how this can go down, and we're going to talk about all of that right now. Welcome back to the Mama Saga, where this Marvel-loving mama is a mother by day and a lawyer by day, but breaks down comic book sagas, movies, and shows like She-Hulk by night. And get ready, She-Hulk debuts on August 18th, 2022. They changed it from August 17th, just in case you hadn't heard yet. Super quick, spoiler alert, just in case you haven't seen all of the Eternals, Loki Season 1, Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, okay? Some of what is discussed in this video might be a spoiler to you otherwise, so just want to put that out there. You've been warned. Okay, so here goes. Let's first take a look at Theory 1, Thanos Snap. So you know, in the movie The Eternals, Ajak discussed with Ikaris how Thanos, with the help of the Infinity Gauntlet, snapped half the human race on Earth out of existence, and how that affected everything as a result, including the emergence of the celestial Tiamut, which was delayed. You see, half of all that energy from the human race that was feeding into the celestial Tiamut was removed from the equation with Thanos' snap. Then that energy was returned all at once, full force, when Hulk snapped everyone that had gone missing back into reality. That's a huge burst of energy, right? Millions and millions of people's life forces disappearing and reappearing like that would likely cause for a shift of energy, a burst of energy that could perhaps trigger mutations in various people's genes, causing them to become mutants themselves, just like Kamala Khan was discovered to be following the testing of Bruno Corelli. Keep in mind, the Ms. Marvel directing team have indicated in an interview with the Direct that the entire Khan family survived the snap and the blip that occurred during Avengers Endgame. They also indicated that when they asked Kevin Feige about whether they had to reference the blip and the snap, he said for them not to, for them just to focus on Kamala's story only. When we get to Theory 3, I'll explain why he likely didn't care to lean too heavily on either event when it came to Ms. Marvel. Okay, so next. Theory 2, Multiverse Merger. We've been introduced to the existence of many, many different worlds, universes, dimensions, alternate realities, and timelines, starting as far back as the original Doctor Strange movie when the Ancient One sent him on a crash course throughout several of them. And then we had the Loki series with the Sacred Timeline, branch timelines, alternate universes, and even 2 black holes at the end of time. And then we were introduced to quite a few of the 73 universes that America Chavez had traveled to previously in the movie Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Of course, in Doctor Strange 2, we were introduced to a separate universe, Earth 838, where that universe's Reed Richards explained to our Dr. Stephen Strange that not only do many separate universes exist, but that incursions can occur between universes where the boundary between 2 universes erodes and they collide, destroying one or both entirely. Why does all this matter when it comes to my second theory about how mutants will be introduced to the MCU? Well, to Earth 616, because mutants can end up being ported in from one world or universe to the next, whether it's through time doors, like the members of the TVA do when they visit different timelines, or whether it's because the barriers between universes or dimensions weaken, like the veil in Ms. Marvel, which separated our dimension from the Noor dimension, where the Jinn come from, or perhaps mutants dreamwalking or otherwise visiting between one universe to the next happens, even though it can create an incursion in the process. So there's many different ways that mutants from other universes can come here. But we're not done. We still have Theory 3, Professor X. So a version of Professor X was killed in a different universe, Earth 838, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other Professor X's out there, including one in our MCU, more specifically Earth 616. He can totally start gathering up mutants as he becomes aware of their presence, whether they have mutated due to the snap, the blip, both, or because they've appeared through a time door, veil, dreamwalking, or some other way, or because they're already here but lying low. If you've been a fan of the Marvel comic book saga, then you know that there's more than one way to become a mutant. Puberty can serve as a trigger to activate the X gene, but stress and or trauma can serve as triggers too. Radiation can serve as a trigger, including solar radiation. You might also know, as a fan of Marvel Comics, that there can be both mutants and mutates. Mutants are born with the X gene, and mutates typically have something accidental or traumatic occur to them that causes them to gain their powers. Think of Spider-Man being bitten by the radioactive spider. Spider-Man isn't a mutant, he's a mutate. That said, mutants alone can easily be picked up by Professor Charles Xavier, and especially if he's got a working cerebro going on, he can gather them to himself from all over the world. Mutants can show up in many of the upcoming Phase 5 projects, but let's face it, now in Phase 4, we have the Disney Plus series She-Hulk Attorney at Law, where simply its trailers alone reveal that there are now so many superhuman and supernatural creatures appearing that a superhuman law division has been created at the office of her employer, Goodman, Lieber, Kurtzberg, and Holloway. Come to think of it, starting next week, I'm going to have my live stream and replay reactions to the She-Hulk Attorney at Law episodes as they drop. I've already got videos having to do with She-Hulk in a playlist reserved especially for her, and will continue to create more. And as an attorney, I'm very happy to break down any legal type issues that may pop up along the way, like I did in a recent video of mine called She-Hulk's Conflict of Interest, which you should check out. You definitely want to subscribe to my channel. Anyway, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok and subscribe to the Mama Saga for more comic book saga breakdowns, Salty Mama style. Thanks for watching. Take care and see you next time.